Joining us now on the line is KT McFarland, Fox News national security analyst. How are you, KT?
Snowy.
Yeah, I know. Well, I guess you're getting the remnants of what we had yesterday, right?
Yep, we're getting a second storm now.
Well, hang in there up there in New York. Listen, I want to start by having a conversation about this guy. There's a guy, and we know he's a bad guy, according to everything that you read about him. The administration believes he is plotting against the United States, but he happens to be an American, and he happens to be in Pakistan, and he's sort of being protected, and we don't have the ability to go in and just grab him by the collar and drag him out of there. But we know where he is, and we have drones above him, and the question is, should we use a drone to smoke this guy? I mean, just take him out.
Sure, he's an American enemy combatant.
You believe so, even though he's an American citizen, and we're going basically on their word with no due process that he's a bad guy.
Look, I mean, due process. Yes, I think you have due process. In other words, I'm very uncomfortable with the idea that anybody in the executive branch says, that guy over there, he's an enemy, let's go kill him, without any other branches of government or any other departments in the executive branch saying, let's look at the evidence, let's confirm that. Okay, we all agree he's a bad guy, now let's go get him. I would rather have other parts of government as well look at the evidence and say he's a bad guy, just because of the potential abuse of power. But I think that any conversation we're having about bad guys in Pakistan ought to start with Pakistan.
Yes, thank you.
Hey, wait a minute, $2 billion a year we're giving you guys to smoke the bad guys. You're not doing it.
And shouldn't we at least be given the opportunity to go into the country and take him ourselves, and rather than Pakistan saying we don't want you here? I mean, I thought they were our ally in the global war on terror.
Here was the problem we did in December of 2001 when we had killed the Taliban in Afghanistan, and they were down. I mean, the Al-Qaeda in Afghanistan. They were down to less than 100. I think they had 2 rickety buses. They went across the Tora Bora Mountains, which separate Afghanistan into Pakistan, and we didn't hot pursue them. We should have pursued them and killed them. And what we did was we said to the Pakistanis, hey, 100 bad guys coming in your direction. Here's $2 billion. Why don't you kill them for us?
Yeah.
And then we stuck around a nation built in Afghanistan. Now, any dope realizes that if you tell a poverty-stricken country like Pakistan, here's $2 billion a year to get bad guys, they're never going to get the bad guys. Because next year they want $2 billion, and the year after that they want $2 billion.
Exactly. We're going to need more billions, please.
Yeah, a little more. If we get just another billion, we might be able to get a few.
And meanwhile, Osama bin Laden was kept in a safe house just about a mile away from what's considered Pakistan's West Point. At this point, why should we even think Pakistan is our ally?
I don't. I haven't thought they were our ally for a long time.
KT, let's stay in Afghanistan, because another disturbing story out of that nation, they released 65 prisoners who we had captured. We identified them as Taliban fighters who were doing all of that evil stuff against our troops, and we asked them not to release them, and they did.
Another guy that I wouldn't consider our ally is Karzai. Look, he's betraying us. He sees the winds of war shifting. We're leaving. We're going to be out by the end of the year, and the Taliban are coming back in. And what is he trying to do? He's trying to ingratiate himself with the Taliban so he doesn't end up like his predecessor, President Mohammad Najibullah, who the first time the Pakistan Taliban came in, or the Afghan Taliban came in, they took President Najibullah, they tortured him, mutilated him, dragged him through Kabul behind a truck, and then strung him upside down from a lamppost. Now, Karzai knows that, and so he's saying, gee, the Taliban are going to be back. I don't want to end up like Najibullah. I'm going to make sure that I let that Taliban, those guys, know what a good guy I am. I was always their guy. I was never really America's guy. So he's negotiating with them behind our backs. He's probably bribing them, and he's releasing their prisoners who are going to go back and kill Americans. I think that he probably, frankly, I don't think Karzai's going to get away with it. I think the Taliban are going to look at him and say, Najibullah time for you. But he probably has a plan B. What's his plan B? Like all good dictators who've taken American money?
Yeah.
He's going to be on the last U.S. helicopter out of Kabul, weighted down with bags of gold on his way to his Swiss bank account. I say at that point, we say, guess what, sweetie? No room on the helicopter for you. You can stay and deal with the Taliban on your own.
All right, so the Iranian Navy apparently on its way to U.S. maritime waters. What should we do?
Well, this warship, the fleet of warships, really.
Yeah, well, I understand. It's a little bit of an exaggeration, but they are sending ships to right outside our borders.
Well, first of all, they've said they're going to send ships right outside our borders. They've said that in the past. They haven't been able to pull it off. I don't think that whatever they send is any kind of military threat. And if they send it, you better believe that the United States Navy is going to have nuclear-powered attack submarines surrounding it as it goes across the Atlantic. But I do think it speaks to a bigger issue, which is a lot of countries in the world, major rising powers, feel that they have an opportunity now. They detect a weak president, they detect an America that's on retreat, and they're going to take advantage of it. They smell blood in the water.
I think you're right.
So you see China doing it in the East and South China Sea. You see Putin and Russia doing it at every opportunity. And now you see Iran. And Iran's excuse for this, or why they're doing this, to teach America a lesson. Wait a minute. Well, didn't we just sign an agreement that's basically allowing you to have an economic boom and to keep your nuclear weapons? So if this is how they reward us, if this is how they punish us for good deeds that we're doing for them, again, I think it's just a number of countries are taking the opportunity to just rub America's face in the dirt.
Yeah, I'm not sure I want America feared around the world, but I certainly want them to be healthily respected. And there seems like we lost that somewhere.
I think we've lost both.
I'm okay with feared.
I'm okay with feared, too.
KT McFarland, real fast, the Olympics, of course, going on, and you mentioned Vladimir Putin. Is he being elevated internationally because of these games? Is he looking good and coming out as a world leader?
Well, he's certainly coming out good and as a world leader in Russia. And I think he probably is on the stage, internationally. This is his crowning moment. He's taken a Russia.
Well, and that's why he wanted this. Is it paying off for him?
I think probably, yeah. I mean, I think it's cost him a lot, $50 billion. A lot of angry Russians that the money wasn't spent on them. But yes, I think that it's paid off for him. But the Olympics, it's not about politics. I mean, it always is, but we should be celebrating the athletes and not just always worried about, who's on first, who's on second politically. Let's worry about who's getting the gold, who's getting the silver, who's getting the bronze.
It's so interesting when you watch the coverage. They do this interview with a guy who's a commentator over there, Vladimir somebody or other, and he speaks perfect English, by the way. And they say, he's getting sort of favorable coverage in the media. He says, you should not be surprised that the Russian media is controlled by the Russian government. He's going to get good coverage.
Yeah.
And then they just sort of shrug their shoulders. We would be outraged by that. But they just kind of go, it's
wait a minute. The mainstream media, look at the paths they've given to President
fair
Obama
enough.
on every issue.
Well said, KT McFarland. We'll leave it there. You're a gold medalist in our hearts, KT.
Happy Valentine's Day, boys.
Oh, wow. Valentine's Day greeting from KT.
Let's keep that one.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks, KT. It's 7:15 now, WMAL traffic.